Want to tell everybody, check out InvictaFC on AXSTV. We're talking to Katie Perez, Maquina Asesina on the show, and make sure to check it out. InvictaFC Phoenix tournament. It's going to be a huge 8-woman tournament, single night tournament. Basically, the winner gets a shot at the women's Atomweight title. It's going to be a very exciting night on AXSTV and YouTube. And so check it out. You know, she'll be on there with Jillian DeCourcy, Linda Mihalik, Cody Saul, Lindsay Van Zandt, Polina Granados, Tabitha Watkins. And of course, you know, tournament is comprised of 1-round bouts, quarter and semifinal rounds, and a 3-round final, and matchups will be determined by the random draw prior to the start of the event. And so we appreciate you being back on the show, Katie. I hope everything is going well with you.
Yeah, things are going great. Thank you.
Great. Listen, so the first question I want to ask you is talk about, you know, obviously the big opportunity to fight in InvictaFC. This is something where the past year that you have been campaigning for. It was like a grassroots campaign. It just grew bigger and bigger, almost kind of like a guerrilla, if you know, guerrilla approach to it, as you will. I mean, you did not let up, and you were, you know, tagging Shannon Knapp on all your posts. You were, you know what I mean, getting her involved and everyone involved with the InvictaFC organization. So, you know, talk about being recognized, you know, first of all, for your hard work and, you know, being a part of this, because this is such a huge opportunity for you to fight in InvictaFC.
It really, really is. Invicta is an amazing organization, one that I am honored and humbled and excited to be a part of. I love what they're doing for the sport. I love what they're doing for women. It's so powerful to have a place where the fighting, the quality of the fights themselves and the athletes and the athletic performance and all of that is what's the number one factor. You know, it's like it's completely focused on the athletes, on the the skills of the fighters, and there's no sense of like, oh, you know, this person is prettier, has more of an Instagram following, or has this or that, and like, nope, it is just, we are 100% business, and I'm just enamored with that. It's something that I've maintained, and I think there are other organizations that absolutely do that too, but Invicta obviously has made it their mission to like really plant a flag on that, on women's MMA, and say like, look, hey, we're exactly the same. We're not better, but we're not worse, you know, like than the guys. Like everyone is the same, should have the same level of respect, and I love that.
Definitely. I totally agree with that. You know, how do you feel the fight week will be? It's approaching fast. So, you know, when it starts off, you will have your weight cut. But what else are you going to do to pass the time? Because you're going to be, you know, quarantined with everything going on with COVID-19. I don't believe there's any fans at the event as well. And they have some really hardcore fans that are, you know, usually it's kind of like a family thing from what I gathered. I'm talking to people that have been there. And it just who have been fans, like, you know, it's usually like a really community kind of event. So what you feel will be different about the fight week?
Functionally for me, not a whole lot. Ordinarily, you know, the week is kind of cut week / recovery week, you know, taking baths and kind of pulling my body back from that brink of, you know, we've been peaking for this. So being able to relax and heal up and just recover well, like really get good sleep. The cut was never hard for me. I'm always close to that weight. I'm pretty much where I need to be at all times. So it's a relatively easy cut. The really big difference will be not being able to attend class, obviously, at the school, but because my coach is my corner, we'll be kind of having some like mini classes in the hotel room. So we bring mats where we're driving. So it's convenient for us to be able to bring things like that. So my coach is like 1,000 miles ahead of me on preparation, like in every aspect. So like we bring movies to watch, you know, got to take a DVD player. We always hook it up in the hotel. It's cool. Honestly, it just makes that, instead of driving up like the night before weigh-ins or something, like I just get to be in that environment, that little like decompression chamber longer. So it kind of works out to be cool. I'll bring my sketch pad. I might bring an electric violin so I can just plug headphones in. No one can hear me. Have a good time. I'll bring a book for sure. Obviously some favorite movies, some movies I haven't seen. So finally get to catch up on some of those. Passing the time is never really an issue, because I'll be able to drill and work things that I want to technically. And then all that extra free time could just be sketching or writing or kind of whatever headspace I need to be in. A lot of the time it's not about distracting myself, because I want to be in that space. Like I want to fight. So I want to relish every moment of that fight prep. I'm aware that you only get so many in life, you know, like there's a limited window where I'm going to be able to do this. So I want to soak up every second of it and not like wish away the days like, oh, I can't wait for it to just be weigh-in so I can just weigh in, and like completely miss that experience, because all of that matters. You know, like the waiting in line is almost as important as the ride if you go to a theme park or something. So it's like you have to appreciate every moment, and I'm looking forward to that.
Definitely the anticipation. You know, talk about training for your opponent, because we know she won't be revealed till that night randomly. So how is that like for you, not having a face? Like, you do have a face, you actually know who the round of opponents will be, but not knowing which specific one it will be in the cage. You'll be in the cage with that night, or specific ones, in case you do. You know, obviously you want to make sure you win this thing, so you'd have to face 3 opponents in one night. So, you know, talk about that.
Absolutely. So preparation wise, no change. I actually, most of the time, I don't even bother finding out anything about my opponent. Again, like my coach does that prep for me. So rather than watching tape specifically on someone, or like, I mean, I watch fights, so I learn good fighting. So I see what does work, what doesn't work. And then obviously through training, you know, I get actual instructional class, open mats, and flow sparring rounds, things like that, where I'm exposed to different situational, just different situations in fighting. So that as far as like my education goes, we've never been a game plan school. We're never concerned with, okay, she's a wrestler, so we're going to work your anti-wrestling, or okay, she's a striker, so we're going to buff up your striking, or we're going to work on, like, no, it's always been about being the best fighter that I can be, doubling down on my strengths, shoring up any perceived weaknesses, and just kind of being me. That's something that you'll find. I mean, Team Phoenix, that's the fight team I'm on. That's the school. Coach Graham does a really good job of finding out who you are and then capitalizing on that as far as your style goes. So like, there's no cookie cutter approach, and there's no like hyper specialized approach. And it's like my last few fights, I didn't even find out my opponent's name. I had no idea what she looked like until weigh-ins. And I was like, people were walking in, I'm like, is that her? And coach was like, no. I'm like, is that her? And he's like, no.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, definitely.
I'm super bad at guessing weights. So like, someone can walk in and they'll be like very clearly several weight classes away, and I'll be like, is that her? Is that my opponent? Like, what's wrong with you?
That's funny.
Yeah, no. So everyone's on the table. I'll fight anybody.
Right. And I'm sure you are familiar with some of the fighters, because, you know, obviously you've had a fight with Jillian McCorsey. You know, you fought her in your past. You did your first pro loss. And I know you do keep up with the sport so much that, you know, I'm sure you knew a couple of the fighters, like Lindsay Van Zandt. She's been in Bellator. She's probably the most famous one out of all. I mean, the most well-known out of all of them. And Tabitha Watkins, she's been, you know, getting up there. She's had a fight in Bellator before as well. So I'm sure you know, you're sort of familiar or adequate with the other names, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, like, end of the day, it's somebody with 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head. You know, it's just like, they're going to probably try and hit me, and they're probably going to try and kill me if we're on the ground. So nothing really big changes. You know, like that's my strategy. If I can hit you, I'm gonna hit you. And if we're on the ground, I'm going to try and kill you. It's pretty straightforward. I love that. I like how simple things are. Let's
say you were to draw DeCourcy maybe in the first fight and gain a win over her. Would that have any extra incentive for you that she did give you your first professional loss and gain a victory against her?
Try not to think about it too much. So my goals and my kind of outlook and where I'm at mentally with that is, one, I love and respect Jillian as a fighter, as a person. She's really cool. She goes out of her way to support me and help me like build my career. And I cannot thank her enough for that. She is a stellar human being, and I love that. On top of which, she's a really good competitor. So I have a lot of respect for her. The only way I've been able to kind of, I guess, I don't want to say make peace with it, but like the way I know my head's in the right place is I'm not like trying to avenge my loss on her in the way, in the sense that like, I've got like a score to settle with you. It's not like, right. It's more what it is I respect her so much that I recognize bringing anything less than my best would be disrespectful to her. And I hope and I assume that she feels the same way, because she's, you know, an awesome competitor. So I see her doing the same. If I were to try and take it easy on her, or she was to try and take it easy on me, it would be disrespectful. And we're both too good of athletes and people who respect each other to do that. So yeah, no, it's going to be, whether it's 5 minutes or 3 rounds, whether it's 1 round or 3 rounds, if, you know, in the event that I get to fight her again, I'm going to bring my absolute best, and I'm probably going to hug her right after again, because it was really fun the first time, and I imagine we'll put on a hell of a show the second time too.
You know, fighting on the all-women's card, is there any difference for you? Does it feel the same, or does it feel different, you know?
Well, it's interesting because I've never done it before. So I guess we'll find out together, because I don't know. I don't imagine it will make too much of a difference. You know, obviously there won't be like okay, you know, there's one chick fight on this card, so you guys have special locker rooms because we can't put you in with the guys or whatever. You know, it's not going to be any awkwardness like that. So that's, you know, a thing. Right. From what I understand, we won't really be like all hanging around the same space forever anyway because of the COVID protocols. I don't know, but like to the best of my knowledge, I don't imagine there'll be much of a difference there.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then, you know, talk about also, what have you learned during preparation for the fight that you feel will be relied upon?
More than anything, probably the mental work that I've been doing. My conditioning has always been in a good place. The only times I haven't been able to bring it to bear appropriately is when I haven't done my part, essentially, of like, before that first pro fight, I like fought an entire fight all by myself. Just, I shadow fought my little heart out, like crazy hard, for the entirety of the fight that was before ours, which I believe went the distance. So like 15 minutes of the hardest shadow fighting I've ever done in my life, followed immediately by a fight, right. Which is not how you should get ready. It's not. I don't recommend it. It was, but I was too excited to be on this big stage with the bright lights, and we got to walk out like through a helicopter because we were fighting for the troops. It was a really cool experience. Right. And in my head, I'm spinning up like, oh, it's a pro debut. I have to do amazing because, you know, I have to like, you know, make my stamp and get started and like really try to build something here, because that's my goal. I don't want to just kind of like get by, do some fights. I'm like, I'm not a hobbyist because I am a professional, but like, I'm always going to kind of rely on my, like, no, I want to, this is my life. This is a lifestyle. I don't like gain a bunch of weights between fights or anything. Like, I am always on diet. I am always training. Right. I am like, this is my life for a lot of reasons, mental health among them. But no, I do genuinely want to build something here, build a career and a legacy. You know, it starts every single day, every single choice I get to make, whether it's diet related or training related, rest recovery related, everything that I do builds into that. So yeah, don't recommend warming up like that before a fight. Right. So we had just done a really good warm up and I was in like a nice flowy place. Wow. And then I got like really hype and nervous and yeah. So yeah, physically my conditioning's always been in a good place. Obviously because of the constant training and the private sessions with my coach. And then, you know, every day there's a striking class and a jiu-jitsu class. So like every day I have the opportunity to build new skills or kind of rehash older ones, and everything is, yeah, I've developed as a fighter. I've definitely expanded my game. I've deepened different parts of it. So I am excited to show those aspects of my fighting style, of my game, I guess. But no, I mean, as far as like any one particular thing that I expect to rely on or that I think is going to be a really telling factor, it would definitely be the mental work of, you know, just being more confident, being more calm, being more like still aggressive. It's just, that's my style. I can't like turn that off. It is what it is. But I being more disciplined and with my emotions, not letting those get the best of me, because that's my biggest failures have been fear driven or like excitement that got out of control. So yeah, like discipline and emotions. That's kind of a long-winded answer, but there you go.
That's fine. I love it. I like it. You know what I mean? Definitely, thanks for sharing that. You know, we look at the former Phoenix tournament winners. You know, we include current UFC fighter Brianna Van Buren. We have Miranda Maverick that's there. She's on a heck of a roll right now. Recent Contender Series hopeful Tanisha Tenen. You know, talk about their success and how this was a launching pad for them, the Phoenix tournament, and possibly could be for you.
Yeah, I think like any fight, like any experience, they all have the opportunity to grow you and to build you. Whether it's building you in the sense that like, okay, you had this really cool experience and you learned these things and you got these lessons from it, or it's an actual kind of more, I don't want to say popularity driven success, but like there is a flavor in this sport where you have to market yourself as an athlete, because you're not just like, you know, attached to a team and then that team wins or loses and has success based on that. But because it is such an individualized sport, people and therefore promotions care about how well they can market you. Are you interesting enough? Are you a decent human being? Or are you like, you know, super into trash talk and can we sell that? So like there are different aspects to being successful, but the main one is performance. So because the Phoenix Rising tournament is such a cool format, I really see it as a high reward scenario, but so would any fight be for Invicta, for a promotion of this size and respect and standing. Honestly, I'm very focused on Invicta right now, so like I'm where I want to be as far as like all that goes. And what I want to do is build myself here,
sure,
and see where we go. But like, I love this organization. I haven't even like got to compete for them, like just a normal fight yet. So this is to be invited, permitted to be a part of this it's a dream come true. It's fantastic. I want to honor that by bringing my very best performance. And that's what success is built on more than anything else, more than, are you pretty? Are you marketable? Are you like super cool personality? Do you have all this going on? End of the day, number one, winning solves everything. So, and not just winning, but like, I don't mean like winning, like, oh, your hand went up, but like winning, like pulling off amazing, really cool techniques, or just being someone who's fun to watch, and that's, I want to bring that too. So, yes, yeah, it is a big deal. And obviously, former Phoenix Rising tournament champs have gone on to do great things. I think they probably would have regardless, but I do think that it's an amazing springboard to kind of accelerate that process as well. So it's pretty cool. Plus with it's just awesome.
And talk about who at the Phoenix MMA has helped you the most, and why have they contributed to your success?
Number one, first and foremost. Oh yeah, I figured you meant my team.
Yeah, there's a lot of Phoenix
there's a lot
here,
of Phoenixes.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I like all my tattoos are Phoenixes. Everything is.
You were meant to be a part of this event. I think it was meant to happen.
I feel that way.
Yeah.
I feel that way. Yeah. First and foremost, my coach, Coach Graham Peru, he is amazing. I came to him not in good shape mentally or physically, like just generally bad. I came to him with no aspirations of even competing in MMA. Like I thought it would be, it was like one of those things I dreamed about, but like didn't like actually dare to move from dreams to goals. Like it was just one of those like, oh yeah, it'd be cool to climb Mount Everest. It would be cool to fight in a cage. Like it was the same level of impossible. Yeah. And from a very traditional Chinese Kempo background, I had some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I had a smattering of other traditional martial arts. So I was not the most well-tuned for mixed martial arts competition. But I had some kind of weird quirks and stuff that we've been able to incorporate, which is really fun. Yeah, no, he took me essentially from zero to where I am and to wherever I'm going, because I'm in it for the long haul. Like I'm in it. I'm not going anywhere. So, and then all my teammates are amazing. They put in all the work, all the hours, everybody sacrifices. Everyone who does this sport makes sacrifices, whether that's, not being able to go to family events or not being able to eat whatever you want when, your family or your significant other or your best friends take you out or whatever. Like everyone makes those sacrifices, and my teammates making those sacrifices so that their performance is good, so that when they work with me, my performance can leapfrog off of theirs. It means the world to me, because I have teammates who don't even particularly want to fight. Like that's not on their radar. They just like the hard training. So it's like, no, they're not in it for glory or for attention. Like they're literally just doing it to do it. So, I could call them out by name. We'll be here for a little bit because everyone's amazing. And then even my teammates who aren't on the fight team, like who don't fight in the cage or compete seriously in jiu-jitsu, but maybe they compete every now and then, or they don't compete at all. They just like coming to class. Even, day one, day two people that I get to work with, everyone builds my understanding of martial arts, whether it's as straightforward as a technique that because I'm working with a newer person, I get to explain it in depth and in detail. Like, oh yeah, I didn't really consider it from that angle, or answer weird questions and then kind of figure it out from there. Or whether it's working with someone who has got really good experience, or they've got size on me and I'm having to learn how to deal with that range, or how to make the technique work even when they outweigh me. Yeah, we all build off each other and we all benefit from each other. And that's the culture of combat fitness, of Team Phoenix. Like that's, like you're not permitted to stay if you're going to just be there as a bully. Like it's something that our coach works really hard to maintain and promote and facilitate, but also like guard fiercely. So all of that, everyone that I train with benefits me and impacts me in a positive manner. And then obviously my coach is the captain of that ship. So without him, there's no ship, but there's also like no direction. So it all kind of comes back.
Definitely. And let's talk more about your head coach, Grammy Peru, talk about his reaction, hearing that you're going to fight in InvictaFC, and know how he's guided you here so far. Like you said, you came in with no prior MMA experience, and he guided you to get to the, to start your own path in this sports. Talk about that.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's got crazy stories. You should talk to him sometime.
Yeah, I will.
Like his background is all over the place. Yeah, you should. But and I'll let him tell most of those because I don't want to steal that from him. But like he has this strength and conditioning coach background, and he's got different experience working with different people, organizations, that kind of thing. It's really cool. And he got into martial arts and just kind of got bit by the bug. Like fell in love with it, right, and just kind of went in deep. It's cool because this is probably not something that comes up a lot. My coach is physically a smaller person. He's not like a 220-pound guy trying to teach me how to jiu-jitsu and saying like, and then you take your opponent and you move them over here, and they're like, yes, how am I going to do that? So his entire martial arts journey, he's had to contend with, what do I do when they're bigger and they're stronger with me than me? So like his precision is so on point, and his technique. We're affiliated under Professor Dave Ginsburg, and we'll go up to Boston and visit and kind of get that, just get to train with them and get to listen to Professor Dave teach. And it's really cool because it's very like family. Coach Graham absolutely champions that. Like we are family, we are tribe. It's super tight. Yeah. So his striking, it's from the perspective of someone who's often shorter, or he understands and he functionally knows how to teach for people who are taller and lankier or different body types. But like getting that perspective of working with a coach who's not going to just tell me to like rip out of an armbar because I don't have that strength advantage, things like that. It's really allowed me to develop my game super, super well. And I don't have enough positive words. Like I said, he takes the time to get to know us as people. Like anytime that you walk in the gym and there's like something going on, whether it's like you just had a rough day at work or like anything that's going on, you walk in the door and he like clocks you coming in. He's like, what's up with you right now? He's just really, he like knows how to push our buttons, like how to get good performance out of us, what's going to break us emotionally, or what's going to make us bring out our best. And that's, end of the day, that's his gift. Like everyone kind of has something that they're like super amazing at. And whether it's, making grilled cheese sandwiches or shooting 3-pointers or whatever, like everyone's got something that they're really special at. And what he's special at, what he's amazing at, is bringing out the best in people. And I've just seen that time and time again, like people who don't believe in themselves, who are like, oh no, I'm just kind of average, mediocre, I'm never going to be special, I'm not like the worst, but I'm not like, going to be up on that podium. That's not going to happen. And I've seen him get them there, just through what he's taught them, like actual techniques and the shape that they're in, the conditioning that he puts them through, and the mental work, like I said, of guiding them to believe in themselves and to not set those limits, to not say like, oh, I'll shoot for here. It's like, well, why aren't you shooting for here? And if you're shooting for here, why aren't you shooting for up there? And like, why limit yourself like that? So, and it's really cool. I don't have enough positive words for Coach Graham.
Excellent. Yeah, it's great to have people like that in your life. My next question is, your hobbies outside of fighting. I checked your Instagram. You're a musician, writer, painter, all listed those. So, talk about that outside of fighting. Like,
sure. So a lot of those kind of work out to be my recovery. Actually,
I see your garage. I know. I'm just saying, talk about how that engages you outside of fighting, like how you engage in those activities.
Okay. Yeah. I think you can see them behind me. I've got like the keyboard and the guitar. That little like black rectangle is a violin case. There's a recurve bow in the corner. It's unrelated to the music, but it's cool. Sure. I play. Those are my recovery activities. They help me mentally disengage from stress, from being too hyper focused on fighting, because like you can't hyper focus for an extended period of time. You can focus on something kind of like 70% forever. Right. Or you can have that 100% focus and then pull back, and then 100% focus and then pull back. Particularly on Sundays is my rest day. That's when I'll paint, whether it's canvas painting or I paint Warhammer miniatures. Those are fun. I haven't gotten to play a game yet, but I like painting the minis. Nice. Learning these crazy techniques for working on something that's like literally that big. And I'm like laboring over a detail that no one in the world is ever going to see. Yeah, no, some of those things are things that I've brought with me through life. Like I've been playing violin for ever, like since middle school. I got into orchestra, and then I didn't like orchestra because I didn't like playing what everyone else was playing at the same time.
Right.
So I just kind of wanted to do my own thing. So like through college, I would play like I would just go out by the fountain or out by the cafeteria, and I would just play outside. And people would join me, and we'd have like these really cool jam sessions with random strangers, or people would be like, hey, play this song, or whatever. Nice. Yeah, I got to go to Western Carolina University, so obviously like kind of rural mountain area. So like, it was fun because we got this kind of like, I don't know, bluegrassy vibe. I got to have a lot of fun with that. And I've just always done it for stress relief, to express myself. I haven't always been very good at doing that, particularly with words, out loud ones. I can write okay, but like I've been very anxious in the past talking to people, or like I got into theater because I could hide behind characters. So when I was talking, it wasn't me. So people are like, you can talk on stage to like, however many hundreds of people and you're fine, but you right. can't have like a conversation like a normal human being over lunch. Like, yeah. So I've had a hard time expressing myself, painting, sketching, playing music, writing have always been really cathartic for me, but also like really expressive. That's how I try to nice. Communicate with people when I couldn't bridge that gap with my actual like conversational skills.
Definitely. That's really cool. I'm glad that you do have, something that outside of the whole grind of the fight game, and, something like that you engage yourself with. Talk about, also Alicia Zapatella. She's still the InvictaFC champion. No, that was a hard fight against just Dabani at InvictaFC on AXSTV. Thoughts on the fight, and that her opponent Dabani will also be competing in this tournament with you.
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, that was a fun fight to watch. Like it's just kind of one of those things. Like they're both incredible athletes. I have a lot of respect for both of them. I knew about Alicia longer, just because of the position that she holds. So of course her name's going to come up first. Beyond that, I haven't seen too much of them. Like I said, I don't make a habit of like researching atom weights. Like I watch a lot of fighting, and most of it is outside of my weight class. I'll see atom weights fighting, but like fairly rarely compared to everything else. So I don't actually know them individually and as fighters as much. I know that they're both talented, or they wouldn't be there where they're at. They're both hardworking, or they wouldn't be where they are. They're dedicated, or they wouldn't be where they are. So like it's kind of one of those things where like I just have so much respect for anyone who does this sport, but especially anyone who does this like really seriously. Like you can tell all their chips are in that basket. They're super focused, and like of course maybe they have plans later in life. You're like, oh, I want to eventually start a family, or I want to start a business, or I want to do this or that, or like maybe the goal is to one day own a gym, and you're not going to be able to split your attention into that new passion and still put this amount of effort into your current passion. So seeing people who are able to prioritize and order their lives like that is so impressive to me, and inspiring also, because there are things that like I'll occasionally want to do and be like, oh, I can't do that. I can't take the time away from training. Right, I would, traveling is cool, but like I can't take the time away. And it's fortunate for me that I love training so much, because it's never too bitter. It's always pretty sweet. Yeah. Like I'm never like, oh no, I'm not going to go to the beach, but I got to learn like a new cool choke, like how to set up this buggy choke or something weird. Like I got to do something cool. Exactly. So I don't feel like deprived or anything in life, but what I am is super excited about what I'm doing right now. And I know that, 20, 30 years from now, I'm probably going to have to be excited about something else. Yes. But so seeing other athletes who are able to do that and do it gracefully is really impressive to me. Alicia's been competing. She did wrestling. She's been competing very seriously for a very long time. So I'm very impressed with her. That was a lot of varies in a row, but I'm hyper impressed with her dedication and her focus. Yeah. I mean, I imagine anyone who's competing in this tournament, anyone who's signed to Invicta really has demonstrated some degree of talent and skill that's backed up by the discipline and dedication and consistency that they would ask for. So
definitely.
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. Now you've been doing it as a pro before Invicta. I know we do have, some of the Invicta signs, some of the top amateurs, maybe from a bigger gym and whatnot. So, sometimes some of the female fighters do get in that way, but you feel like that's good that you've been a professional, you've had those 4 fights prior to your Invicta debut, rather than just entering as an amateur.
Yeah, no, I'm super grateful for the fights that I've had. I had great experiences. Different parts of the experiences are great. Obviously losing is not fun, but right. I don't like I don't relish that part of the experience, but everything else was great. Yeah, no, I learned super valuable lessons from each of those. And the first one for Cage Fury, obviously it was my pro debut, but it also, like, I was aware it was a big show to be debuting on. And on top of which, you know, because of the unique setting that we were on a military base, and there were all these like really strict rules about where you could and couldn't be at what times, and like what you could and couldn't have. So it was cool, but it was also like, you know, my intensity level was ramped up, like not at 11, it was at like 44 out of 10. It was stupid. You know, that experience taught me to, every fight is the same. Just accept the truth of that, the truth that, you know, whether it's somewhere random in Summerfield, North Carolina, where I grew up, or you know, like New York City or something, and wherever, Vegas, wherever it is, it's a fight against someone else who has trained for this moment, just like you. Nothing magical or crazy or insane is happening. It's just the thing that you prepared for. So calm yourself. Yeah, no, that was a big lesson. And then obviously the following experiences, getting to fight for HFC, which was awesome. You know, you guys, you know, he treated me super well. I had a great experience, great time. And I think I've mentioned before that I wasn't super proud of that performance for most of it. Most of that fight, I wasn't being myself. And the reason was that I was still mentally attached to my previous fight, that loss, because that experience was on the ground in my head and in my heart. I was like, I know what I should do, and I should be true to myself, which is, you know, play the game that I've always played. In my heart, I was like, but I'm scared. I didn't want to do it. So like I was fighting myself and fighting Kara, which made me really slow, and made some poor life choices in those first 2 rounds. In between rounds 2 and 3, my coach was like, you're gonna hate yourself if you let this happen, if you just don't be yourself. So I was myself for like 40 seconds, and it was much better. Yeah, and it's just kind of one of those things. And getting to fight for Mountain Force was really cool because I'd never flown out to a fight before. And so I had that whole experience of flying and arranging a car rental and like picking up our groceries that we needed and like all this stuff, like the logistical things. That it was a good experience. It was very valuable. So like I know that I'm prepared for things like travel, where I need to either bring everything with me, in which case I need to itemize the things that I need. And I'm saying but my coach does it for me. It's I basically have to remember to like, what am I wearing when I fight? My mouthpiece. Okay, bring those things. Like that's my job. But like, you know, obviously there's like a little bit to it. Like I want to make sure I pack enough clothes if I'm going to be working out to, you know, it's just a part of the process. You don't want to just like sit on your butt for a whole week and then fight someone. You want to like maintain some level of movement and activity. So yeah, so like making sure I have enough clothes, and obviously the things I intend to bring to entertain myself. Yeah, no, they were all very valuable experiences. In a way, that loss was the most, I don't want to say most important, because every little piece counts, you know, like the rocket fuel is what gets the rocket off the ground. But like if one little screw somewhere isn't tight, yeah, they were all very valuable to me. And I'm glad that I'm not like pro debuting on top of trying to do all of this, because it would be overwhelming. It would be super terrifying, and it would be exciting too. You know, like fear and excitement are actually the same parts of your brain lighting up. It's just kind of like which one you decide to roll with. Like, am I excited? Am I scared? I don't know. They're the same. Chemically, they're the same. Yeah, no, having those experiences is what's allowing me to kind of like have that perspective of like, we're going to stand back from this, and it's going to be go time when it's go time, not 15, 20 minutes before, not 5 minutes after. It's go time when it's go time, disengage. It's go time, disengage. Like being able to do that and recognize that, hey, this is what I've trained for. This is what I'm made for. This is what I have built myself to be for. Then all of that's valuable.
I mean, with a single round fight, I'm sure the urgency is going to be there. The urgency is going to be there.
Yeah, it's actually kind of cool because like I've always tended towards the more like, okay, let's go. I get really excited and then it's time to go. But I also, you know, there's always that kind of like feeling out process. And I'm really happy to kind of do away with that. There's not going to be like a round of like, all right, what's your range and timing and this and that. It's like, no, we're just going to throw our cards on the table. I think that's really fun. I think that's fun to watch. I'm excited to see it as well as to be in it. Like I just think it's going to be a good time, frankly. Like I think it's going to be a good night of fights to watch.
Like
if I wasn't in it, I would for sure be watching.
Yeah, like a video game, you know what I mean? Or a movie scene.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, there's no hesitation.
Like it's gonna be moving. Fighter ready, go. Like, ah! I love that. It's fun.
Yeah,
it's a good time.
Me too. So we appreciate you being on the show, and thank you again, Katie Perez, for being on the Fight Report. And obviously we're excited. So what can we expect? In one word, what can we expect at InvictaFC Phoenix series when it comes your way on June 10th?
Fire. Phoenix is fire. I mean, come on now. It's got to be lit. It's got to be exciting. It's got to be fun, intense, all those things. Sure. It's just going to be fire.
Fair enough. And that was June 11th. I had to correct myself. June 11th. And we appreciate you being 11th. On the show. Anyone you'd like to thank, go ahead.
Oh, man. Okay, I'm going to go kind of rapid fire because I feel like I took up so much of your time.
No, you're fine.
Obviously, I have to thank my Coach Graham. I have to thank my Team Phoenix, and everybody at Combat Fitness. I super have to thank my parents. They've been amazing being a part of this journey. Like initially, I think they were like, I don't know about this, but their not just acceptance, but active support has been, it's just magnified every positive aspect of this experience. So like they're kind of on this journey with me, and I appreciate them so much and their understanding. And not just my parents, but like my family as well. Because like I said, some of the sacrifices that we make, we don't make by ourselves. We make them kind of on other people's dime a little bit, like, oh, I can't go to that wedding, or, oh, I can't do this. And, I have a fight coming up. I'm afraid I can't. So like being able to having such an understanding family, and there's just so much love. Like, thank you guys. Big thank you to my sponsors, because, you help so much more than I can really put into words. Summerfield Family Chiropractic does an amazing job keeping my spinal health ship-shape. They keep me running, and I'm like, oh, my shoulder's being weird, or my this or my that. I think I'm taller because of all the the back adjustments. Oh yeah. So many pops. Same thing for Alexa Garcia with Emo Massage. She takes care of me on the regular, and then when we get ready for fights and stuff, she always goes out of her way to make sure the team is taken care of. Wings Air Support, my primary sponsor. Thank you guys so much. If you're ever in need of aircraft parts aviation advice, go to Wings Air Support. Supplement Warehouse, through the location is the Complete Nutrition location in Friendly Center, Greensboro. And they help me with all of my supplements and like my protein and my vitamins and my things like that, my recovery stuff. So super amazing, super appreciative. And then some smaller one, like they're not actual sponsors of mine, but Cosmic Activewear sent me some really cool spats, and it's a crop top. I was gonna say rash guard, but like a really cool outfit. You should check them out. They have got like really fun nerdy stuff. It's themed around Dungeons & Dragons. So if you're like, oh, I'm a rogue, I'm gonna get the rogue outfit. I'm a paladin, I'll get the paladin armor. Like it's real cool stuff, and it's really high quality. Wild Bangarang, same thing. They've got great nerdy stuff. It's like everything from Magic the Gathering to Warhammer to Pokemon, dragons. It's awesome. Go check them out. Their stuff's great. Definitely.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you being on the Fight Report. Maquina, Asesina, Katie Perez, good luck at the Phoenix tournament, InvictaFC, your debut. Have a lot of fun out there. June 11th, AXSTV, and it will also be on YouTube for the prelims. So no excuse not to check it out. And we look forward to seeing you. Yep, we look forward to you and obviously watching it and seeing all your hard work, and your effort put forward. So appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. This was awesome.
Anytime. What's up, everyone? This is host Sean Lennon with the Fight Report. I want to remind you that UFC 263 is this Saturday night. Make sure to come down to Mullins, 7301 Northwestern Avenue to check us out for the Fight Report remote. We're going to be there at 7:30 p.m., going live by 8 p.m. Central Standard Time with our live remote predictions for the podcast, experts, and more. Also, head over to 7001 Northwestern Avenue for the fight. No cover, early arrival recommended, food and drink specials, and a big shout out to Mullins Sports Bar and Grill for having us once again for UFC 263. Head over to fightly.com for more exclusive content, including exclusive interviews and articles. I'm your host, Sean Lennon. See you Saturday night for UFC 263.